You're listening to the Martial Arts Lifestyle Podcast, where each week we have a conversation with everyday martial arts practitioners. From the first motivation to train, martial arts enriches our lives and becomes a lifestyle. Welcome to the individual stories of those martial artists living that lifestyle. You are listening to the abbreviated version. For those of you checking this out on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Full-length versions of this podcast can be subscribed to at our Patreon page, is www.patreon.com/malmag. Or individual full-length episodes can be purchased at our Gumroad page at malmag.gumroad.com. Before we begin this week's program, I would like to remind you to check out martialartslifestylemagazine.com to see articles on the martial arts. Click on the store tab to find products for the practice of Southeast Asian martial arts, featuring Timmy B's brand sticks. Check out the courses tab, currently featuring a course on the Dos Manos method of the Filipino Martial Arts. Also check out our Places to Train page, featuring top quality martial art academies from around the world. And of course, check out our events page for seminars and events coming up around the world. To see your school listed in our Places to Train page or your event on our events calendar, contact us at malmagonline@gmail.com. This week, I get on Zoom and I connect with Texas, and I talk with Linda Tenberg, and we talk about how she got involved in martial arts, seeking out her Thai roots by trying to find a Muay Thai instruction in the early 1990s, discovering the Filipino martial arts Silat and Jeet Kune Do, and studying with Guru Dan Inosanto, and of course, her boxing career, and much more. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome to the Martial Arts Lifestyle Podcast, and today I'm hooking up with Texas, right? You're in Austin?
Correct.
Okay, to Austin, Texas, and I'm talking to a really nice and yet very tough young lady named Linda Tenberg, who I know through the Inosanto circles. And I wanted to tell you a very funny story, actually, Linda.
Sure.
So a couple of years ago, there was, I would say 2 weeks before an instructor camp, there was a young lady who came in, and I swear to God, she is either your sister or your doppelganger.
Oh.
Looks so much like you. I thought she was you.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, it's not unusual for instructors to come in early, sometimes before camp, and take classes. So I'm just yakking away at her like I know her, right?
Yeah.
And she's being real nice. She's just going along with it, whatever. And I'm 100% that I am sitting here talking to you. And class starts up, and I'm like, hey, you want to partner up? She's like, sure. So she's a brand new student. And man, she's completely lost. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, Linda's an instructor. You know this stuff. And she goes like, no, I don't. And I'm like, okay. So then it's like, took me half a second to figure. I'm like, wait, you're not who I think you are. And she's like, who do you think?
Oh, no.
It was so funny. It was so funny. Anyway,
So,
sweet lady, her name is Nadine. She comes like kind of sporadically, but when she pops back around, I'm like, hey, hey, doppelganger gal.
Oh, goodness. So is she there in California then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's
I was like, was she there for instructor camp or?
No. She's a student at the academy, and I'm not sure what she does 100% like for work or anything, but she's there, and then she's kind of gone for long periods of time and then back. And I saw her maybe a month ago, and she's like, yeah, I'm trying to get back, in here regularly. And I said, yeah, I hope so, but it's so funny how much she was just dead on. Like, literally, I thought she was your twin.
I mean, that's awesome.
Exactly. I feel like such a knucklehead because I'm like just yakking away. She's, like I said, she's so nice. She's just like, okay, who are you, strange guy? Other than I get you're a teacher here, but geez.
Oh, that's so sweet. She totally entertained the conversation altogether. She was like, okay, I'm just gonna go with this.
Exactly.
That's great.
It was such a funny thing, and I still get a chuckle every time she comes in. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, sorry, Nadine, I keep thinking you were someone else. Oh man. Well, shoot. Well, let's get started with talking about how you got involved in martial art.
How did, that's a very good question. I randomly at like 20 years old decided I want to do martial arts. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I do know that I wanted to do Muay Thai. I'm from Thailand. So I
Oh,
did,
you were born in Thailand.
I was,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So my mom and I are from Thailand. And so I thought, well, let me see if there's a martial art specific to Thailand. And of course there is. And so I
Boy,
was
is
like,
there.
yeah, so that's what I'm going, so that's the martial art that I'm going to do. So this was way back in the early 90s, 1994.
Oh,
So
okay.
what's that?
I say, yeah, good time. It was really starting to, kind of become a thing.
I mean, kind of like I mean, I said yeah and no. So it was
Yeah, yeah.
available, but in like very like minimal environments. Like
Yeah.
I happened to find an instructor that had Muay Thai in his whole class repertoire, but he also had the Kali, the Silat, JKD. He had all the stuff that we do now as well. Uh,
Wow.
so that's actually how I got involved in all the other stuff. I
Well, dang,
specifically,
lucky you. You like got to
yeah,
dive right into everything. Okay.
yeah. So like it just happened to be part of the curriculum he was teaching because he was also an Inosanto instructor. So the what is it? He was part of the TBA and all that good stuff too.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
Muay Thai was just part of the curriculum, as was Kali, Silat, and JKD, so that's how that happened.
That's cool. Now, was that there in Texas?
Correct. Yes.
So how
In
did you end
Austin.
up in Texas? Born in Thailand, but ended up in Texas.
Yeah, so my dad, my biological dad is American. So he was
Oh,
military.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he was in Southeast Asia, Vietnam era during around that time.
Gotcha.
And was in after his tour in Vietnam, he was stationed in Thailand in northeast, the northeast Isan sector of Thailand, basically. And him and my mom met there, and then we ended up back here in the U.S.
Yeah, he ships out to a new base, you go with. That's
Yeah,
how that works.
exactly, exactly. And then so
Wow.
like the last my so he's actually from the Texas area, from not too far from Austin actually. Um, but I moved here the last duty station we were at was in Lawton Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And
Okay.
I moved to Austin, Texas in the early 90s, in 1993 specifically. And then when it was actually right before I left Oklahoma, I was considering martial arts. And where I was at in Oklahoma, there was absolutely no Muay Thai in the town that I lived in. There was a lot of more the traditional like Taekwondo, karate,
Right.
Kung Fu type of martial arts, kind of the real traditional forms. So yeah. So then when I moved to Austin, I was like, I want to do this thing. And I searched for it. And in searching for Muay Thai, I found all the other great stuff too.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, especially with that time period. So 90 94. That's when I started in that stuff as well. I'd done
Yeah.
martial arts for 10 years at that point, but
Yeah.
my teacher was a guy that had studied with Guru Dan in these Aspen summer camps that he did in Colorado.
Yeah.
And so he had little exposure to this and that. And we were having parts of Muay Thai in that, and we were interested in it. Turned out there was an old American guy in Lakeland, Florida, which was like, I don't know, an hour. Well, let's see, it's just past Orlando. We were living in the Tampa area.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, yeah, let's go. And this guy was bringing in Vut Kamnar, who was a Thai national guy. And we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go, let's go. And so we went and did a seminar with him, and yeah, it was kind of hooked after that. And we just took a bunch home and just kept working on it. And then we had there was another Thai guy named Tong, who was out of Missouri at the time. He had come
Yeah.
into St. Petersburg and was doing a thing at a karate school there. So we went to that. And then it also turned out that my teacher, Lauren, one of his friends growing up was a guy named Doug Pandorf, who was actually one of the top guys early on with Ajahn Chai, and he was out of New Mexico. So we brought him in, and man, he just wasted us for 2 days in a seminar. I mean, it was like hardcore. I've never been so sore without lifting weights. It was insane.
Yeah, I know, right? Old
Yeah.
school martial art days.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember those days too. It's like, everything was hard.
Yeah, everything was hard. And they had those damn pads that were like bricks that you had
Yes.
to kick a knee.
That is so funny. I made that reference the other day. I was holding pads, and I was in a class, and the young girl I was working with, her shins were sore, so she handed me the pads that she wanted me to use. And it was, I told her, I go, man, these pads nowadays are like pillows in comparison to what we had.
Yeah.
Giggle about that. I'm like, man, we had these huge bricks, and
Yeah,
like now
we kicked concrete bricks and
they're
strong
so
shoulders to
simple.
hold the damn things up.
Yeah, so you got strong. Yeah, you got strong just
Yeah,
holding them up for your partner.
exactly. Those. Yeah, that's fun. In fact, I think it was Ken's Trading Company that makes that, which is the same group that operates. Oh my gosh, they are a company out here, and Guru used to go to them. They were in Koreatown to get his belts for the kids class. And I go with him, and then I think they moved out of there into the other location they had, which was like Glendale or something. But I'm trying to think of the other name of it. So Ken's Trading Company was kind of the products and stuff, and the name of it was something else. But I'm like, I need to find those. I'd love to get just a set of those, have somebody hold and watch just how bad I hurt myself with it now.
Yeah, there was like that old brand. It had the word built on the end of it. Man, I saw some the other day. They're old. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, it was something built, and they were like,
wow.
they were those hard Muay Thai pads.
Oh yeah. Do you remember how like thick and heavy your first set of shin pads were?
I had actually a really light pair of shin pads. They were from a Ringside.
Oh, okay.
And they were just, they were actually really light in comparison to the one. Actually, they were lighter than the ones I have now in comparison, because I have twins from Thailand, and the Ringside ones were a lot more like lighter, foamy, they lasted forever, which was kind of cool. I had them for years. But I don't remember those being as heavy, because I remember when I got my new twins, when I started wearing the twins ones, I was like, wow, these are a lot heavier than my old ones. But I do remember seeing people wearing like the older shin guards, like they're super wide.
Yeah.
They were like
Yeah, it was like Transformer legs or something.
Yes, exactly. You look like you had robot legs. Exactly.
Yeah.
They were really wide. They weren't form fitted at all.
Nope. Oh my God. I should see if I can find some old pictures. It's really funny. So they were from Fairtex, the ones I had, and they were huge and they were heavy, and the inside was colored blue, and that damn dye would run all over my legs every time I would go and spar with them. So like, feel like I've got 60-pound legs, and then I'd have blue shins when I'm done.
your lower legs were dyed blue from your shin pads. Yeah.
Exactly. But at least I didn't have big bumps on my shins, though. I did get one of those once, sparring lightly with a big guy my size back then, and we were just doing this timing sparring, and my timing must have caught him by surprise, and he shielded like Kali style, put his knee right on my shin. Oh yeah, that was a big softball size bump for a while.
Yeah, so that leaves you a nice bump. Oh, that's yucky.
Oh man. So how old were you when you came here from Thailand?
I was pretty young. I was 2 years old. So I've been in the US most of my life. Yeah. I still, my mom has family over there. So, there's still a lot of connection over there. My mom lives here. Well, she doesn't live here in Austin. She lives up in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know that area decently. My one of my college best friends, who was my roommate for like 9 years after college, he's from that area. He's from
Yeah.
Arlington,
Yeah.
in that area.
My mom lives just south of Arlington, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I love the food there, all the barbecue and the there's like an ice cream place we would go to, Brahms or something like that, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually, yeah, that's a north. I want to, I don't know exactly where Brahms is from, but the first time I ever saw it was actually in Oklahoma. I'm only familiar with
Yeah.
Brahms in the northern, like in Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, and Dallas. Like you don't see it much further south than that area.
Well, that's true. Yeah, because he's got a grandmother actually who just passed, and they had a ranch in Oklahoma. And I remember while I was there with him, we shot up and visited this ranch, and I think we ate at a Brahms there too. Yeah, so I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's kind of like their little ice cream burger joint type of
Yeah,
place.
it's like their Dairy Queen or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. So I'm
But yeah,
thinking at 2 years old, you probably did. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna refer back to, yeah, I've been here since I was we came over, yeah, I was 2 years old here in the US.
So you probably didn't remember seeing any Muay Thai in Thailand at two.
No, I did not. But what's interesting is when I started training Muay Thai, my mom comes from a pretty decent sized family, and she had three she had two older brothers and a younger brother. And I want to say two out of those three brothers all fought Muay Thai. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, she said she goes, "Oh yeah, my younger brother would go fight." And it was one of those things where it was kind of a secret, where he would go fight for money and then be like, "Don't tell mom."
Oh,
And she my so my mom was really nervous. She was like, "Are you gonna start fighting?" And at the time, the answer was no. And because she was like, I just remember my younger brother would come home so beat up, from getting punched and elbowed. But, he did it because, he would get paid. Prize money basically.
oh
So,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course. So she was. I was going to ask you if that was a concern of hers then when she found out you were going to train it.
yeah, she initially was like, oh, where'd I go? Um, she initially was really, she was like, well, I mean, are you going to fight? Or I was like, well, right now I'm just training, And so it's obviously early on, but she goes, okay, well, and she would always say, whatever you do, don't start fighting, which, obviously that I started fighting at some
Did
point.
you?
I did. I mean, I just, at some point I was just kind of like, all right, well, you got to move to the next level. Like at that point, it was like, I need to challenge myself. So,
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you do get curious, right?
yeah.
When we
So,
train, especially something like Muay Thai, where there is the availability of competition, even at like a smoker level, where you just like, hey, I can just kind of go and mix it up with another person who's interested in experiencing it. We don't have to necessarily pursue professional career or whatever, but it's accessible to go really try it. So it's obviously a temptation.
yeah. Well, so yeah, when I did started competing though, it's interesting because this is still again in the 90s. So, like Muay Thai is really huge now. Like it's everywhere. And I
Yeah.
love it. So I love that it is. And I love that there's like all of these like amateur events and like development leagues and like even pro events, which is really just awesome. Like I just can't be more happy about it. Other than
Yeah.
the fact that I don't fight anymore and I never actually got to fight Muay Thai. I boxed. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So back in the day, do you remember it was more kickboxing stuff, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
Like everything was kind of like this point kickboxing
Yeah, you had the point
competition.
stuff, and then you had like the PKA style, which is what
Yeah.
I initially did when I was 12. That's what I started in traditional karate, and then that PKA type kickboxing where it was 8 kick minimum, everything above the
Yeah.
waist, no knees, no elbows, and then all the punching.
So yeah, so we didn't have like actual Muay Thai events back then. So every now and then a kickboxing event would come in through town, and I would start training for it, get really amped about it. And either like it wouldn't happen altogether, or the whole event, or I wouldn't get an opponent, I guess. There was nobody like my size or my weight.
Oh.
So a good friend of mine was like, well, why don't you just box? So when I competed, I was actually a boxer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I knew there would be more competition that way as well. So I would actually be busier as a fighter and have more opportunities to get in the ring, as opposed to waiting for kickboxing stuff. I remember hearing at the time, and also you have to remember, like, 1994, 95 was like early internet days. And so
Right.
like,
Yes.
except that like
Total
information isn't
dial-up.
yeah. So like information isn't as widespread as it is now. And, then somewhere down the line you would hear, oh, they have all these events in like Arizona and California. And I just really wasn't ready to uproot myself just yet to move to a different
Yeah.
place to compete.
Yeah. 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 Because they had a Fairtex camp in like Chandler, Arizona for a while.
Yeah.
I think they would hold stuff, if I remember right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, so I actually have never competed in Muay Thai. So I was a competitive boxer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Muay Thai, pre-widespread Muay Thai days. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, this was before, like, UFC was still in its infancy. Like, what UFC came out in like 95 or something like that.
Right.
And so like back then they called it like Vale or what was the other one? NHB, no holds barred.
Yep. Yep. Tough man contests.
Yes.
On the local level.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was too the era where they had the fight between Rick Rufus and the Thai kickboxer. And Rick Rufus, I can remember his name because my first teacher was a PKA trainer and kickboxer. He fought him twice. So that name I know. And I remember the fight quite well too. And then that sort of, really changed a lot of things as far as kind of what was going on here between that and UFC. You just saw this whole martial art competitive thing all of a sudden take this weird spin in that, okay, there was still the point stuff, but it was losing popularity at that point, I guess, unless you were strictly Taekwondo, maybe.
Yeah.
And definitely the kickboxing world kind of went like, well, what do we do? And like the K1 stuff started coming out where they're like, okay, well, we'll allow you to leg kick, but we we'll allow you to knee maybe, but we don't want you elbowing each other in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. So then so there was like, no specifically just Muay Thai, but I guess is the good way to say that. There was kickboxing, like the PKA stuff. There was, like I said, the Vale Tudo, NHB stuff. And then what was the other one? Pancration. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah. Because that's what I think Ken Shamrock was doing.
Yeah, Boss Rutan, Ken
for a while.
Shamrock.
Boss Rutan, yeah.
They all. So it was like open palm.
Yeah.
So it was
slapping.
Like with open palm strikes.
Yeah.
I was like,
And this concludes the abbreviated version of the podcast. Please consider supporting the program by going to www.patreon.com/MALMAG and subscribing to the show. You can also purchase this individual episode or any individual episode at our Gumroad page. That's malmag.gumroad.com. Thank you for listening to this episode with Linda Tenberg. Coming up next week, I connect to Phoenix, Arizona, and I have a talk with martial artist Chris Dene. Our Malmag online store at martialartslifestylemagazine.com has a full selection of Timmy B's brand sticks for FMA and Krabiker Bong. Timmy B's brand now selling in Japan as well. Beautiful Timmy B's brand shirts and Dos Manos shirts are available. We also have sarongs, molongs, and wooden training knives. An online course in the Dos Manos method for FMA is available under the Courses tab. More courses coming soon. Check out the Places to Train tab to find schools near you, and click on the events calendar page to see what seminars and events are happening all around the world. And of course, visit our main page for articles on the martial arts. Music by Arthur J. Martial Arts Lifestyle Magazine and the Martial Arts Lifestyle Podcast are trademarked and copyrighted by TNT LLC.